Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today. And today I'm going to be talking about a potential signing for the Orlando Magic. And I'm going to be talking about Orlando potentially signing Klay Thompson. I don't know how people will feel about this. I've done a, potential offseason signing for the Dallas Mavericks, potentially picking up Klay. I think I've talked about a couple other teams potentially bringing in Klay that have been, brought up for potential Klay suitors. And I've seen a lot of complaints about potentially bringing Klay Thompson in. And I know when I did a Dallas Mavericks video talking about it, and there were not a lot of people that wanted Klay Thompson on the Mavericks. Out of probably 15 comments, I think there was only like one person or two people that commented, "We want the Mavericks to trade for Klay. I love this idea." But I think for teams like the Mavericks and the Magic, who already have their corner pieces, their main players. I think Klay's a good addition if you think about it. I mean, he's someone who definitely, he's not going to be a number one, number two scoring option on the team. I think he is still a third scorer on a team. For this Orlando team, I think if he comes into the Orlando team, if they don't trade for anybody else, because I think even if you sign Klay, you're still going to probably be rumored to other potential, trade rumors, potentially trading for a guy like Trae Young, potentially trading a guy for like DeJounte Murray, because you have a lot of trade assets like Anthony Black, Jett Howard, Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, who's a big contract. So, you have first-round picks, so you have assets to move, if you sign Klay as well. So, Klay could be coming in as a third, fourth scorer on our Orlando Magic team. If you want to go over the Dallas Mavericks, since I brought them up, I mean, if he joined the Dallas Mavericks, he'd be their third best scorer. You got Luka, you got Kyrie. I mean, but if you think about it, I know he had his poor performances throughout the year, but this is a great three-point shooter. This is a great career three-point shooter, 41.3%. I know he had a down year. This was a down year for Klay Thompson, but I don't want to hide away from the fact that Klay, even though this was an off year for him and not his best year in a while, Klay still shot near 39% from three on 9 3-point attempts per game. He shot 38.7% from three, which is above average. Average three-point shooter shoots, average player probably shoots about 34%. Or, I don't know about, I don't know about if we were going to talk about every player, but good three-point shooters, solid three-point shooters usually shoot, if we're not talking about solid is 35%. Now, better than solid, good, really good is 36 to plus 40%. And, Klay shot 38.7%, which was, funny enough, a low for Klay in a while, was his lowest since really his whole career. I'm not going to include the 2021-22 season, because that was it. He shot basically the same percentage in the 2021-22 season as he did this season, but that was also the year he only played 32 games and had just come off 2 major injuries / surgeries. But if you look outside that season, every other season in his career has shot 40+% from three. So, including a couple seasons with 44% from three. So this was his worst three-point shooting year, but this was still a good three-point shooting year for Klay Thompson. He shot also averaged 18 points per game with 1 steal per game. He had 2.3 assists per game and 3 rebounds per game. And look, I go over the three-point shooting and how good of a three-point shooter he is. That's what Orlando needed. I watched every game of this Cleveland Cavalier. Well, I did. There was like one game I didn't watch. I think it was Game 3 I didn't watch. I watched every other game. Outside of Game 3, I watched. So I watched Game 1, I watched Game 2. Every game of this series I watched outside of Game 3. And honestly, what I noticed the most, and I think what everybody knows the most, Orlando is a great defensive team. They have a great future, but they are a terrible three-point shooting team. They need three-point shooting. If Orlando and Klay have mutual interest in each other, bring Klay in. I mean, come on. But I think it has to be a team-friendly deal. If Klay wants the bag, if I'm going to leave Steph and Draymond and I'm going to go to Orlando, honestly, I think it is a situation where, Klay might want more money to leave Golden State, but you don't give that to him. But also, I just thought about this randomly. But Orlando's a great water, a water city for him to drive around in his boat. So, like, if you're gonna leave, if you're gonna leave Golden State in the Bay, where he loves to drive that boat, Orlando's a great place to leave, that city for, because they got a lot of water as well. Florida, there's a lot of water, and definitely a great chance for Klay to drive his boat around in Orlando. And funny enough, I told you all about the Dallas Mavericks video I did about the Mavericks signing Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's, potentially signing Klay Thompson. And honestly, I've done YouTube for 3 years. This might have been potentially one of my favorite comment replies that I've ever seen on YouTube, my channel, in 3 years. Someone commented when talking about Klay Thompson potentially signing for the Mavericks, where would Klay Thompson drive his boat? Just how I brought it up. And this person replied and told him, Mark Cuban's swimming pool. I thought it was hilarious. But, so I think there definitely would be a great area for Klay to drive his boat around. But at the same time, he does get the chance to get a new fresh start and play with a good young team in the Orlando Magic. And if they throw $11 million to a guy like Joe Ingles, who had an injury problems in the past before that, just like Klay did. I mean, imagine what they would throw to Klay. I mean, I think it's a little bit different. I think, when they threw Joe Ingles that money, they weren't a playoff team yet. They were like the 13th or 12th seed in the Eastern Conference when they threw Joe Ingles that money to leave a championship contender in the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is an Orlando team who was just the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they'd be asking a player who was on the 10th seed Golden State Warriors to join them. So I think things are a little bit different now. And this is also Klay Thompson, who had one of his worst seasons of his career. He's averaged 20 points per game in his career. He averaged only 17 this year. Season before, he averaged 22. So his points per game went down by almost 5. Let me know your thoughts on the potential signing for the Magic in the comment section, and peace out.